What if the most powerful, impactful thing about you was your pain? On a cold February night with my knees planted in the blue carpet of my bedroom floor and my hands balled up in fists so tight that my fingernails left indents in my palms, I begged God, please, let me just go fishing with him one more time. Even if the words are different, I'm betting you know this feeling. The feeling of desperately begging God to do something. Maybe you're out of options. It's whatever it is, it's beyond your control, and the only thing left that you can do is pray. Well, a few days after I prayed that prayer, our beloved friend Sid died anyway. God said no. And maybe you understand that. Maybe you've gotten that same two-letter answer from God on something. No, I'm not going to heal him. No, she's not going to get better. No, they're not coming back. No, there's nothing we can do anymore. No, I'm not going to fix it. No, the depression won't dissipate. No, you're not going to stop hearing that voice. No, you're not going to get the job. No, your dream isn't coming true. No. You know, we've been doing these videos on prayer recently, and they're all well and good, and they're helpful, I hope, but what do you do when God says no? Sages and theologians have had a few different answers down through the centuries for that question, but today I want to focus on one idea that comes from the Apostle Paul, the author that half of the documents in the New Testament are attributed to. Paul was a church hunter and a Christian murderer, and then he became a church planter and a Christian missionary. And the dramatic hinge point of that turnaround was when he encountered the resurrected Jesus. From then on, he says everything changed for him. And then he went out and started small communities of Jesus followers all over the coast of the Aegean Sea. And the documents that we have from the New Testament are mostly his letters to those churches. And in one of those letters, Paul is sharing with the Christians in the city of Corinth some of his own experience of God saying no. Therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. My power is made perfect in weakness? I mean, what does that even mean? How could weakness possibly be perfected power? Well, it's important to understand that word perfect. It's the Greek word teletai. It comes from the root word telos, which is translated here as perfect, but not as in flawless. Telos is about purpose. It's about the end goal of a process. To perfect something in terms of telos is to complete it. It's to put the finishing touches on the idea or the project. When Paul says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness, he's saying the telos of God's power is finished. The finishing touches are completed in weakness. It's God's desire to work with and work through broken and bruised humanity. Now, you can criticize Paul's conclusion about God here if you want, but I mean, why does it have to be that way? But I'll simply say for myself, at its core, I kind of experience this concept to be true. When I'm in pain, when I'm struggling, I don't care what you have to say in the least. I don't want to hear your advice. I don't want your input, your wisdom, or your direction if you've not experienced something akin to what I'm going through. If you have, please share it. If you haven't, please shut up. Just be present, love and console and encourage. I think you know this. A message from someone who has gone through what you're going through carries way more power and impact than a message from someone who has no idea what it's like. Which means your pain, your weakness, might just be one of the most powerful things about you, because it gives you the potential opportunity to have an incredible impact in the life of another person. One of my friends lost a baby just before it was supposed to be born. The pain of the hope, the expectation, the celebration that was coming, all of that being snuffed out, all of that was supposed to be realized is gone. It was brutal. And she's grieved that. And she continues to grieve it decades later. But she's now one of the most wise and helpful voices, walking alongside others who are going through that same experience. Her experience gives her a real powerful impact when speaking to people in the middle of that kind of pain. And she has a power that I don't in those situations. She can bring a humanity, an understanding of the wide range of emotion and fragileness of this human experience. She gets the brokenness and the depression of it. She gets it in a way that so many others don't. That pain, that weakness, for her has in some way blossomed into a power that has rippled way beyond herself. God, according to Paul, seems to be interested in taking human brokenness and making it into something beautiful. The telos of his power, the end goal of it then, is often realized in weakness. Now, what was the thorn in the flesh? We don't know. Was it physical, mental, psychological, or emotional? I think he's kind of vague on purpose with this twofold description. First, it's physical. A thorn in the flesh is like a rock in your shoe. It's not detrimental, it's not going to kill you, but golly, if you could just get it out, boy, would life be perfect. Do you have anything in your life that you think about like that? For the most part, it's okay, it's all right, but man, if I could just get this one thing up and running, if this one area or problem or pain could get sorted out, then everything would be better. But then it's also not physical. He calls it a messenger of Satan, literally an angel of the devil. Angels bring messages. They speak or announce the words of God to people, which makes me think, I don't think this is a physical thing so much as a mental, psychological, emotional thing. The devil is whispering in Paul's ears, and it will not stop. It's tormenting him. To me, that sounds a lot more like a severe anxiety or depression. And as somebody who's really struggled with bouts of acute anxiety before, the kind that had me curled up on the bathroom floor in a fetal position as an adult, I've prayed this prayer. I've thought, man, if God could just remove this from my life, relieve my chronic anxiety, then everything would be better. Paul says he begged God on 3 separate occasions to take this tormenting, this messenger of the devil, this thorn in the flesh, take it away. What's your thorn in the flesh? What's the thing that you just wish would go away? How do you handle that? It humbled Paul. It allowed him to see that the purpose of God's power was actually realized. The finishing touches were accomplished in the midst of his weakness. If you think about it, that's really the story of Jesus too. The absolute worst possible thing happening to the best possible person, and in his weakness and vulnerability, the ultimate form of love was shown to the world: self-sacrifice. And you may find it interesting to know that Jesus too prayed desperately that God would not force him to go through the pain, that he wouldn't have to endure that weakness and that shame. And clearly God's answer was no. I wonder if sometimes God says no to our prayers because he's saying yes to our human experience. You are God's power, not in spite of your pain, but through it. God's power doesn't replace your weakness. It inhabits it. So if you're carrying something that hurts and heaven's been quiet, or you've experienced God saying no, maybe it's not a rejection. Maybe it's the start of something powerful. History, the Bible, I'm betting your personal experience, it all tells us that God works through people with their very own thorns in the flesh all the time. Your pain might just be part of your positive, powerful impact on the world. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. If you really like this video, join the email list by clicking the link in the description below. And if you want help sorting through your own painful experience when it comes to God, if you want customized, personalized help when it comes to walking through your spiritual life, throw a wave emoji in the comments. I'd love to connect with you one-on-one. We offer free spiritual coaching and free discipleship to anybody who's interested. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.